This is Fox News Alert. The rescue of 33 trapped miners in Chile is underway. A rescue worker is down in that mine preparing the miners for their journey to the surface. Fox's Steve Harrigan is live on the scene. Steve?
Greta, that wheel behind me is now moving clockwise. That means after 68 days, the first miner is moving to the surface. That man's name is Florencio Alvarez. He's 31 years old. He actually turned 31 in the mine. He's been a miner for 8 years. His brother has also been trapped in the mine. He is married and a father of 2. So the first of 33 miners, as people begin to run to get to the scene, it's a real chaotic media circus here. The first of 33 miners is on his way. As that wheel continues to turn, it's a very simple operation physically. It's a high-tech capsule being lowered and raised by a giant crank, a winch, held by a steel cable. And you can just feel the hushes come over this crowd. Finally, after 2 months, is this going to happen? And people are really straining to see it, trying to get a closer look. This man has been one of the leaders underground. Alvarez has been seen as a supervisor, a man who organized activities, also a man who videotaped some of the other miners to try and pass on information about them and their health conditions to those above. He's known to be a very shy man, and it's really a position of honor that he is going out first. He's going out first because of his fitness and his ability to deal with the unpredicted. And as we've already seen in these rehearsals, sometimes the unpredicted does happen with some delays in the rehearsals. But we could be now within minutes of the first miner, the first of 33 to reach the surface. Of course, this could be a long, drawn-out rescue operation, as some of the people around here begin to whistle as that capsule slowly makes its way up just a few feet per second, moving through solid rock. This is the Plan B escape hatch. 3 wells were drilled to try and find the miners. Plan B with the heavy hammer finally broke through last Saturday. That was one triumph, and now the nation awaits another, the first of what could be 33 miners coming to the surface here, as really the collective nation of Chile is holding its breath now, watching and waiting. Greta, back to you.
You know, it's just a matter of minutes. It takes about 20 minutes for him to get to the surface, and what pleasure when we can make the announcement that it's only 32 and we start our countdown on the miners down below that surface. But imagine how that family feels. Imagine the rescuers. Imagine the men down below. Imagine being on the ground there after all these 68 days and just on the edge of their seats. Steve, what can you see from where you are?
Certainly they're not alone. I'll show you a look around me here now. You have really, it's sort of like a Tower of Babel. You have every language going on and lights, even journalists from North Korea here. Everyone with satellite trucks as well. They've really bulldozed this area, the top part of a mountain here overlooking the scene. And this is something that it's a disaster, and yet it's a disaster that Chile has wanted to get out to the world. It's a disaster that they've managed, that they've even choreographed, and it's been, you know, probably the best thing to ever happen to President Piñera. He's seen his ratings, his approval rise throughout this, as you can see him embracing people on the platform. He's been omnipresent throughout this crisis and has thrown the full resources of the government behind it to try and bring these miners out, and the nation has responded. His popularity and the popularity of his mining minister have soared. You know, some of the journalists here, especially the Chilean journalists, are getting overwhelmed as well, whistling, shouting, putting aside their cameras for a moment, as this is a moment, you know, where they're Chileans first and journalists second as they watch and wait for Alvarez to come to the surface. He's a father of 2. His wife has been waiting patiently here in the camp, and his brother is also a miner trapped down there. The president today earlier announced that he would be the first man out. There was some speculation about which of the 2 brothers it would be, but the president told his mother that it would be him. So we have at least 2 family members who will be waiting. A busload of family members has been taken to a tent right near the escape hatch, and that joyful reunion could take place any time. There will be at least a 20-second delay to make sure there are no mishaps, but we could see the embrace of Alvarez with his 2 children and perhaps his wife just minutes away, Greta.
Steve, stand by. We're going to go to Adam Housley. Adam, according to my count, he has started, he's been on his ride up to the surface for 7 minutes out of 20, so we've only got to hold our breath for a little bit longer.
Right.
To you.
Yeah, Florencio Avalos is on his way up. We're going to spin the camera. We got a chance now. Photographer Keith has been able to free it up so we can show you where people have gathered. And Steve hit the nail on the head, Greta, when he talked about the Chilean media and even the Bolivian media and other countries here that are connected to Chile, and about how many of them have put aside their cameras and are cheering. And a lot of you can see actually crowded around this television over here. They were the same ones that chased after the father of Avalos when he heard that he was going into the capsule. Now, you did say by your clock about 7 minutes. You would be correct. However, take this into account. That trip down was not 40 minutes as they originally thought it would take. It was faster than that. Does that mean the trip up will be quicker? Well, we won't know, of course, until he reaches the surface, Greta. But as you were talking to Steve, when that first turn of the rung started and he started to go up, there was quite another cheer here. And every time there's any development, the first time the rescuer went in, came over and wished him well. The first time it disappeared into the tunnel. The first time he reached the bottom. When the video came up. When they heard voices. When they saw their relatives. Every time there's a massive reaction here. You hear horns and you'll see this crowd of people basically start to cheer. Flags will go up into the air. Air horns will take place. In the distance, unfortunately, you can't see it, I say unfortunately, because it's only about 15 yards away, but there's a big white tent. They were blocked out by the police presence here. They have a big police tent in front of it. That's where the other members of the family are waiting. And you'll hear a massive cheer in there. That's where the kids are located because it's warmer in there. The media, of course, does not go in there. That's strictly for family. But this is where the reaction takes place. This is where the man ran through. And as you can see, here's another person being led back down. Hey, is that the second person in the family from the second people? Do we know? I believe it's the family from the second person that's being brought down there right there, Greta. You can see some of the media following them right now. More controlled because they're with police from the beginning. When the father of Avalos came through here, he was by himself, and there was nobody basically to take care of him until he almost ran into a fence, and he was surrounded. So as we await this first person to come up, and as we watch, I can see from here, they count the meters, and it seems like everything continues to go forward. They have a camera on his father to see his reaction. I can see his father's face. I don't know if you guys can see that with the feed that we're bringing in right now, but you can see the steam coming out of the hole. You can see the rescuers standing there waiting for that capsule to emerge. They were the same ones that cheered. You can see them clapping their hands in the air. Now they have a close-up of the hole itself. We're getting close, Greta. That first miner who's been underground since August 5th, who for 17 days didn't know if anyone would ever find him, is now going to emerge any moment, and you can bet there will be quite a reaction here on the ground. Steve can see it from above, and he can see where the actual mechanism moves. We can see the reaction here from the families, from the media, from others who've come up here to support those who've been on a vigil for 69 days now, as it is after midnight here, 5 minutes past midnight by my watch. That first person is expected to emerge any minute. And we heard this from the president. President of Chile has been saying that he hoped the first person to come out by midnight. Then they moved it up a bit. And then they moved it back a bit. Then there was some talk that capsule would come back up and get a second rescuer before they'd bring anybody up. They changed that as well. And the capsule is coming back up with the first person. And we, again, expect it to emerge at any moment. You got any new information for us? Did you come back over here? Okay, so everything's still going well, we're told. There's been no hitches so far, and you can see now they have a shot of the president as he looks down with anticipation as well. As Steve has so greatly explained, he has really put everything into this, as has the entire country. They've really rallied around these men. It's their bicentennial year here. They just celebrated it less than a month ago. They're called the Angels of the Bicentennial. It has been a moment that this country is waiting for. And now we're hearing the cheer. We're hearing the cheer from the tent to my left. They've been told something. They've been told that it's going well and that it's within a few meters, Greta. So hold on a second here. We expect it to be coming up here momentarily. You can see family members now wearing white helmets, hugging each other. It looks like there's a child. I'm not sure if it's his son or daughter. They're standing right there as well. And there's the medical team, of course. We saw the medical team go in. The first one go in about 2.5 hours ago. One followed it about 45 minutes later. The triage unit went in as well. There were 2 very large medical teams that went in on small buses. They also have a number of